I'm not gonna lie. This week has been bizarre in both good and bad. One, it's hot as fuck, and I'm in a cranky mood. And two, uh, we got the next Spider-Man movie trailer dropping. We got the Sonic 4 title drop, and just today we had the the new Amazing Digital Circus episode drop. This week has been weird. It's been so fucking weird. Anyway, let's get back into it. Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? Victim Detective Bruce Goodman was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this and the evidence room part? Yeah, good question. The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. The fact that she's a... Is she a psychic? Are you also a medium? You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? But we do. Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum, was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just, we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Does she read minds? Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. No, you can drink. You just can't legally buy alcohol until you're 21. The law doesn't say anything about consumption, Kappa. What? We're testing bloodstains with the stuff, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press the A button to spray it on. Okay, let's find us some blood stains. Here, let me just slit my wrist. Well, I do see something there. I can see her eyes shining. I can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this a blood stain? It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a blood stain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course. Yeah, here's what I don't get. You're telling me that we stabbed someone, and all we get is a few drops of blood? If you're telling me that someone died from just a few drops of blood, No, this is not a fucking HIV joke. But if you're telling me that someone died of from losing a few drops of blood, I think it's safe to assume you didn't kill them. I think they were dead already. What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of blood. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, they'd have had been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna mark the floor pans where we find the blood stain, okay? Perfect. See, I'm pretty handy at having around it. Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Luminol testing fluid received from one very proud-looking Emma Skye. Well, here's the thing though about luminol though. I could be wrong though. However, if I'm not mistaken, it could be a different solution, but luminol doesn't find specifically blood. It specifically finds a very specific chemical that's found in blood, which is also found in certain things, like potatoes, for example, raw potatoes specifically. You could also find it in certain pond algae or pond scum, if you will. There's a number of things that can give a false reading. However, 99.999% of the time, when the police find something, it's blood. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit their view of the case. Then let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah! It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? I guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr! You only trust your own eyes, hmm? Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but no, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from the security room right there, but I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see? I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Skye stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. She stabbed a dead body, I'm calling it. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. She stabbed a dead body. Think about it. Seriously, the amount of blood. Again, I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? We'll show her the picture later. I am curious, though. So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes. It was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up. They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long, they called me the Cough-Up Queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... what do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know. Really? That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Could you take a look at this? You... Yes? You said you wanted some hot tea, right? No, but thanks. She didn't even look at it. You must have to brew the leaves a long time to get rich flavor like this. We pre-infuse the leaves with steam before brewing. I knew it! So that's the secret to their aroma. Exquisite. Only thing I'm smelling here is wasted time. This rope, is it? Yep. Oh, that's useless. Where is it? So wait. That's about as red as a sports car can get. Yep, it's pretty red, all right. The body was found in Edward's car trunk, and the lock on that trunk was broken too. So the question is, why did Miss Guy chose his car? So what model car is it? I think it was called a sedan or a coupe. Something like that. Those are car types, Mr. Wright, not models. You're a guy, aren't you, Mr. Wright? You're supposed to know these things. Maybe it is about time I got my driver's license. Yeah, probably, dipshit. That's where we found that note. The case that was due for transferal the day of the murder. And the detective in charge of the case was the victim. I wonder what kind of case this SL9 incident was. Kind of hard to guess just knowing the case number. Excuse me. I guess this. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you weren't straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The whole of my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time? Now you want to talk about it. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence? Of a sort? Made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen. Others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be? Yes, I think we've... Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops, I mean, Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then, it was over. He was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell. There is only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Miss Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, rookie. What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with his treat. Excellent for putting Officer Marshall in a good mood. Ain't no way. Miss Starr? Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his... Are you going out? Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. Chance, I'm willing to bet he's gonna be here. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. The detective did get killed here after all. So, the evidence room. The scene of a crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid in an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. We were at a real crime scene. Brother, what? Is that a fucking snare trap? You put a fucking snare trap in front of the door? How much whiskey do you have? What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime? It sure seems that way. Oh. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where's the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Yeah, I do too. Looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says, recording. Bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. Maybe. There's a security guard uniform hanging here. It looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What was that thing called again? A poncho. A punchy? A paunchy? Paunchy? A pinchy? I know, a poochie! Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information for myself for the time being. I think she already knows. Yipes, these sure are prickly. They must be the real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Encased in a cold, rigid shell, with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. Bruh. This swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say it'd be more of a myself. Look on the floor, a lasso. It's set up to trap something. A trap here? Wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed. You sure have an active imagination. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. Oh, there's fuck all here. Really? Alright. This place is charged with frantic energy as always. Please! Huh? Wasn't that... One steak lunch, please! Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Yeah, into a billion pieces. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal. Now we just need our evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing at the police department evidence room, right, pal? On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't going to fill my belly. Wait, don't leave! If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Actually, now I think about it. I wonder. What if we sprayed... Well, we certainly tried. Now, didn't we? What? Wow, we got a reaction. Hmm. There's clearly blood around the spines here. This room's pretty messy. Someone must have tripped over something and planted their head right in these spines. I think that might be more painful than being murdered. Well, there's nothing else here. All right. Oh, God, my chest. Oh. I was stretching earlier at work. I stretched something really weird. Now my back and my heart feel funny. Oh, heart attack! All right. Well. Hmm. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we go to the detention center here. Here we go. Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Just to not go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was against the perpetrator against, sir. That's what I'd say. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. Hi! Greetings, sir! Oh, wait, I know who you are. Is that Meekins? Excuse me, but, is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Officer Meekins! So you're a guard here at the detention center? No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman, like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir, how should I say this? Wait, he isn't. Is he? Officer Meekins, you didn't... Did you? Perpetrator, Officer Meekins reporting, sir. What? 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 I'm just as... This game just gets weirder and weirder every fucking case. I love this game, but what the frick? Now, this is an unexpected turn of events. Sir, I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir! Sir! How? I can hear you fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir, so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So normally there's a guard at the evidence room? That's right, sir, because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? And, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person, sir. What the heck is this guy doing? I think this is like the equivalent of like Japanese slapstick. I have no idea. I like good slapstick, but what the fuck? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. And when I came to, I was here in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Huh. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first. Tell us how you hurt your hand. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir! If you have to label me as a perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim! I would, but you happen to be in detention, and alive and well at that. Ah, yes, well, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light and other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir, none. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, Don't you think you should just confess? But, sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, my detective pointed that knife at me. I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were... Huh? And when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir, all alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. Nani? Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. Okay, so... let me get this straight. Let's assume, out of sheer coincidence, that Prosecutor Sky went there. So Goodman was there to get the evidence. He collected the knife. He saw... So Meekin saw someone suspicious in there. He goes in there. He gets knocked out by suspicious person. Suspicious person kills Goodman. I'm gonna assume that somehow, for some reason, Sky and Edgeworth were also there. They took Edgeworth's car, and somehow they, and I'm gonna say they, not including Edgeworth, because Edgeworth I don't think has anything to do with this. So Sky, maybe someone else, saw the body and moved it. I don't know. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother trying to figure this shit out. Do you think you could take a look at this? Was this the man you saw? Hey! That's it, sir, that's it! That's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment! But sir, now I remember! I remember, sir! You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card! That card was the cause of it all! This ID card? Exactly, sir! That's exactly it! Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Can you tell me what it is that you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman who was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and I asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. What? Sir, I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? I'm trying to suspect that the Goodman that was in the evidence room was not Goodman. It was someone else who used his ID to get in. But if he got in there the exact same time that the real Goodman was stabbed, which doesn't make any sense. Do unto others before they do unto you. My father's word, sir. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I woke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim whom he met at the scene of the crime doesn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day at that time. Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly. No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, real sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what to do with this guy. No thanks. I have my own. Guess better go check out that crime scene. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Wonder why they only use numbers for IDs. What else would they use? Letters, silly. They're the reason we have a written language in the first place. True. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. ID, yabba dab. See? Wouldn't that be better? Yabba dab? Well, it does have a certain ring to it. Yabba dab? Wait, hold on. Can I move in there? No, I can't. Well, that was fucking worthless. I guess we can go to criminal affairs. Hey, Mr. Wright! Look who's standing at the chief of detective's desk. It's Police Chief Gant. And you're sure this is all, You know what it means if there's anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away. Deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. The chief of detectives looks a little flustered. Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? Is Edgeworth going to be okay? Oh, were they? Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty on that case, right, Righto? Von Karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court, you fixed it, so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of a turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf, too, I mean. There being the prosecutors, I assume? Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this is, in particular, well, it's a little sensitive. And I can't talk about it. Wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives trap shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier? Huh? Oh, you saw that? Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. These are the detectives' desks. The computers are files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I expect. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. I know, the killer used a cassette tape. Crafty trick. That gunshot was a fake. This is good. No one will expect a cassette tape in this day and age. He's not writing a report. He's writing a novel. Brother. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here? Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. The lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Make a note of that just in case. Wait a minute, hold on, what? Wait, February 21st? Wait. We should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Wait, hold on. So he made the report the same day he died, between 4 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. Let me read this. ID 59? It's 58. Unless... Wait, you lost it the same day? That's not... Well... Oh, perfect. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Well, I never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Now, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate at all, after all. Righto, please. Do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Well... If I'm gonna be completely and utterly honest, you kind of do give me the vibe of an orange Satan looking guy. I'm not exactly sure what to say. Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50 no problem. Can I have $1 billion? So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. Just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. You just gave that to me? It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. You seem happy. Yes, sir, because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Do we get it added to our thing? No. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of worried about that, but okay. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Well, howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina's sky so gray? Officer Marshall! Why does it have to be him? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yee-haw! That card you got there is on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. Crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. You sure have a lot of monitors in here. There's 8 cameras in the evidence room in all. 1 for each section. Which monitor shows the section where the crime took place? Why do cattle sit before the rains come? It's not for man to know. Unless you're the security guard responsible? This cactus sure is prickly. Best keep your distance from Billy there. You're liable to get hurt. Billy? The cactus has a name? Billy, you're wearing your cowboy hat on your hand. Ah, my rawhide cowskin 10-gallon hat. I just picked that up, but Billy took a fancy to it. Looks like it got stuck on the spines and he couldn't get it off. I was wondering if we could talk to you. Sorry, Bambina, but I'm off to roam the lands like a tumbleweed on a wide prairie. What was that all about, Mr. Wright? I think he was just too hungry to talk. You're just saying that because his stomach was growling. You have no idea what he was talking about either. Well, in any case, we need to get cracking on this investigation pronto. Alright, listen, you. I'm sure this would help you? That smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see, I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. It's a message. Alright, Bambina. You win. Ask anything. The man's eating like a pig. I cannot believe I'm actually reading that. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Alright. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of the security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you see. So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. No, it was his car. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't talk to machines much. Kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Ha! Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of a crime. That's all gone now. Like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved in the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what exactly happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? Day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferal too. You know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do? Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, the machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. Hey, cauliflower's good. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. You go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. Thus the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Well, we have a problem, Chief. Let's assume for a minute that the detective was actually killed at the prosecutor's office. Let's say he died at 5:15. How the fuck do you go literally in 1 minute, do whatever the shit you're doing here, and then end up dead 30 miles away? You got super speed? Are you Nightcrawler? Can you teleport? Are you Malevola? Can you warp? And those 7/7s at 420 make me worried. My other question is, who the fuck were these other 3 people before that went in? And who the fuck went in with them? Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Huh? I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. I absolutely can. I absolutely can. See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Well, I'll be a ding-dang-darned. Look at the 4th number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room, and I asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? Wait, hold on. Here's what I don't get. Now I'm really confused. How did the ID card get over there now? Nothing's making sense. That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card, then why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Because it wasn't Detective Goodman. All right, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. Grazie. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Okay, but we're not done talking. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That is so fucked up, but makes sense. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Into the evidence room. Is that a fishing rod? Is that a car door? It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room? It's really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. I'm home. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Whoa! Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend on going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So, is it true what I heard? Righto. Please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asks me, sir, can I borrow $50? I just give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50, even me? See, he's thinking right, okay? He knows where his mind's going with that one, and he's fucking right. Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you want to have this. Evidence room floor plans added to the court record. Well, this is fucking useless. Why is it an L shape? So, Detective Gumshoe, you're a boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I'm a detective after all. You gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee right now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in the court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint. Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor. And if the wrong person touches it, zap! You get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people in the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Now I'm curious. Pretty sure I think we know what happened to that guy's hand then. Alright. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's the metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right! Ah, that feels like ages ago. And... I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy and solve in some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. Excuse me. You gotta look at their heart. Right. Okay. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Amen. There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for a case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal. Making me out like some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, but that evidence locker was open recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him bring out my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. I bet he doesn't even tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. You're gonna talk behind someone's back. Don't do it in front of them, pal. Hey. Paint? What's this? Blood. It's a little warm, but there's definitely a handprint here. Looks like someone tried to wipe it. Wipe it off. So Sky was here? Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use our testing fluid to check it out. What is a saw and a paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's a blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Oh, Gumshoe. Oh, you sweet, naive soul. Someone left the glove here, but only one. Check tag. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal. Making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. First glove added to the courtroom record. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal. Making me out as some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever was broke. You want to try and put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I'd spend a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a lube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Oh, no. Huh. Well, I'll be darned. No. Huh. It's really fucking deceiving. There's a piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broke. Put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? And two, does it seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. Look, this one's open. And the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents somewhere elsewhere. Alright, well... So Goodman was here. And I'm going to assume also Prosecutor Sky was here. But something's not adding up. I'm gonna say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Anyway. I don't know why I went to examine. I knew it! There is someone's right hand print. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine! It's yours? Please! You will have to help me. When they come to take me away, promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll try to download on the floor plans. Count on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. Fuck. Jesus Christ, Gumshoe. That's a lot of blood. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. Well, we got another problem. Where's the blood? How did you guys clean that up? I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Yeah, probably not. There's no blood on the locker, so that's helpful. Nothing on there. Good thing we have an infinite supply of luminol. I think we've gotten everything. Nothing here to talk about. I got nothing. Oh, wait, there's nothing new here. I guess we can go to the High Prosecutor's office. You think we'll see Edgeworth here? Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. There's gotta be something else in the locker room. Oh, you have in his room, I bet. Maybe... Did you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So, it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? What? I'm sorry, I beg your finest fucking pardon, Edgeworth. What? He did do it? No. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? All right. You know what? There's gotta be some... Didn't we spray this earlier? Didn't we spray that earlier? Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What? This? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks with the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I better jot this down on the floor plans. Let's look at the floor plans. There's gotta be something else I'm missing. You know, he hasn't mentioned anything about SL9. Hang on. Well, then I'd say, okay, that's fucking useless. Detective Goodman's note and that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know? 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from the case turn up now? Yeah, it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. There we go. Now, that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right on the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors? About forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up by the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you need to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. That does not look like a report. It might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he could use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Alright, now we can go to the thing-a-bing-bing-boom. I'm going the wrong fucking way like a fucking dipshit. Man, am I stupid. Stupid. Alright. I went to the wrong fucking place. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Hallelujah. Why are you here? Why? Guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Why is the bellboy here? Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth? You're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. Alright. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for tomorrow's trial? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police, by the chief of police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. Anyone else smell something awfully stench of, like, a pile of dead fish? Actually, fuck the pile. It's a mountain of dead fish that's been sitting in the sun for, like, 2 months straight. Decomposing. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still... Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Edgeworth? Oh, right. I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage? Edgeworth? You went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Well, why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The police is taking over the investigation? Gant told you to go there at that specific time? Gant is in charge of the investigation, was also doing the internal investigation? Me thinks this is no longer coinky-dink. The chief of police? He wanted evidence for a case that was wrapped up half a year ago. AI-16? He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. I'm curious about this other case. I'm gonna make a note of it. AI-16. Remember that now. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. Honestly, at this point, I'll be honest with you, Edgeworth. Anything's fucking possible. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right? It all has to do with that case you were on. The SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in? You were the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel bad for making you relive the murder of your father. But hey, at least we figured out it was your fucking yeah. Also, Farmer Conrad could suck dick. And not the fun way. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth. Why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SO9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too then. Okay, I'm starting to think that this is all Gant. I'm pretty sure it is at this point. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't? Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science, huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this? Luminal testing fluid. Well then, you might have a use for this. For fingerprints? Why are you giving this to us? Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Is this your way of just fucking with the police? Because I'm all for it. Edgeworth, no need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. I'm giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well. Yeah, please do. He deserves... Fingerprinting set and fingerprint file received. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. 2, to be exact. Back to the evidence locker. Or the evidence room, I should say. Excuse me. Oh, God, I'm getting a headache. It's not from the game. It's the fucking heat. It already feels like it's summer, which is horrible. It's March 20th, 2026, okay? Approximately 7:20 p.m. No, it's exactly 7:20 p.m. And the fucking dry and the warm evening, this is technically a warm evening, even though it's cool, but still, it's making my eyes hurt, it's making my fucking head hurt, and it's putting everyone I work with, myself included, in a bad mood. Usually it doesn't happen until, like, fucking, like, late July. There's gonna be a fucking fist fight pretty soon at work, I bet. Not because people hate each other, it's because no one wants to deal with the fucking heat. It's absurd, and... Did he fuck off? Alright. So... Alright. Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A fingy? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different impression. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. The thumb. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With the A button, see? Oh, look, it's white blood splatter. Or someone just blew their load from the air, out of a helicopter, out of a fucking flying airplane. Huh. Looks like they did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With the Y button. Exciting, I know. If I'm not mistaken, I think on the DS version, so I think the 2DS and the 3DS, because this was a 3DS game, I think you just blow in the mic. Very stupid, I know. I really think the mic was a gimmick, but it fucking sucked. Wow. That was like fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. Just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. Guess I better give it a try. Aha! You did it. You found one. There's no fingerprint, though. But this looks like nothing like a fingerprint. Now you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with the scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Other prints? Look at the locker door closely. Looking at the locker door closely. It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Just fucking cake this shit. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Now that's a fingerprint. Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Alright. With the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Well, it's not Damon Gant. It's Gumshoe. Gumshoe's 30? I'm older than Gumshoe? Oh, hell nah. Yep. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. He's right. What is this? The tag says AI-16. What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least, that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't that be nice? This is where we got a luminal fluid reaction, right? Right! There was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this? There we go. There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no print. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Well... probably be in the area that didn't have blood. We have a partial. I give it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this point. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Maybe a thumb would be nice. Hey, we got a match. Or at least we found a print. Marshall? Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminal reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall... It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. To be continued. I need food. I'm gonna go grab my fish sandwich. I'm gonna save real quick. Alright. I will be right back. And we're gonna continue playing. Hungry ass. Thanks, Boone. How about instead of insulting me, how about you spend some of that mental energy and come up with a video game challenge for me? Because my dumbass somehow managed to get 200 followers. And guess what that means? I get to spin the wheel of pain. So if you got a video game challenge that I could beat within reason, please suggest it. Don't you dare say Bob. I know for a fact you're going to say something related to Bob. I take it back. I'll gladly take Bob. You know what? Fine. You suggested it. Fine. You suggested it. I'll add it. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it right now. You can check the Discord. I'm doing it. I'll add it. I'm gonna hang myself. I'll absolutely hang myself over it, but I'll do it. We talking, by the way, which one are we talking? OG Dark Souls 2 or Scholar of the First Sin? Because I do own both. I do have Dark Souls 2 on 360, so I have the OG. With the DLCs. Fuck it, we'll put both. I'll put both. Fuck it. I own both. Fuck it. I'll do both. OG. That's well, thanks. You just made it 100 times. Well, in that case, you made it a billion times easier for me. Regardless. Well, you always try harder. Why is it, dude? Why is Discord such a broken piece of shit? Like, dead ass, I'm trying to add bullet points, it just doesn't work sometimes. Fuck it. Hold on. I already have that on the list, too. I have that. I have Dark Souls 3. Elden Ring. Yes, that's also going to include Shadow of the Erd Tree. Oh my god! The fact that I'm even adding Shadow of the Erd Tree for Rune level 1 is insane. No, it's fine. I just don't hate myself enough, apparently, forehead. Oh, please come up with a bullshit challenge. I insist. I hate myself enough already. It's funny. Well, you have until tomorrow. And don't worry, I'm still going to add it to the list, because guess what? Don't tell anyone this, but once I beat the challenge, I'm going to add it as a fucking redeem, as a channel point redeem. So, I hope you've been lurking for 1,000 years. I am so fucking dead. It's going to be awful. Yeah, I'll give you a list of some of the ones I'm doing already. So there's going to be the Dead Space remake where I beat the game with X weapon. I'm not going to do Plasma Cutter only because that's stupid easy. And specifically be new game, so I'm stuck with the Plasma Cutter until I get said weapon. Funny you say that. I've never played Terraria. Can you even beat Terraria? Like, is there actually a fucking ending to that? Is it like there is? Oh, Jesus Christ. That's awful. I haven't even touched Terraria. I've only ever played like at most an hour's worth of Terraria. So that would be funny. It's gonna suck. Oh yeah, sure. Let me just beat the fucking game. Why not? Oh no. I will beat the. I'll give it a month at most to beat. Well, it depends on the game. Terraria is gonna be a gray one because I'm like, I need to actually play Terraria first, probably to do that. Let's see, beat Terraria with a copper short sword only. And by that you mean specifically as your only weapon, not your only tool, right? Only weapon. I'm not that cold. Brother, I literally have beat Call of Duty World at War, beat the game on Veteran without dying. I'm gonna be doing that on fucking console. I'm already up shit's creek. All right, I'm gonna go get some food. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. Let's go. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, good. All right. Gotta love Wendy's. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to, Mr. Wright. Oh, this'll be fun. Sorry, eating. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. I tried to see big titties in my face and this girl tripping, man. Boone, what the fuck? Wait, where? Who? Didn't you get married? It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department for the prosecutor's office. For 3 weeks? You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. That's what I figured. Okay, good. I figured that's what you were talking about. I was like, okay, good. I was making sure that's what you were talking about. I was like, are you confusing me with Roops? Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. Oh yeah, I'm not a dumbass. Good. I still can't, yeah. You know, speaking of which, hold on, let me pull that up. Hold on, pull that up. Hold on. God damn it, Droops. I fucking knew it. I think he got banned again. Well, so much for ever watching him again. I think he got banned from TikTok again. I'm not surprised. The fuck happened? Oh, he probably said something stupid, or he probably swore too much, or I don't know. Maybe he just deleted his own account. I don't know. I haven't watched him over a month. At least. So I'm still eating. Well, that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. I just watched it on the fucking. I just watched it on my browser. Except if you're on mobile, you have to get the fucking app. Yes, the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Fuck no, I don't have a TV. Why would I need a TV? Also, I accidentally skipped some shit. Fuck. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait. Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. My poor voice. Probably. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Sir, yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. Well, that was easy. Case done. It's over. Wrap it up. Let's go to the bar. Get crunk. You're supposed to laugh, Boone. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. He rides the short bus. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I mean, if it was between you and me, you can absolutely say whatever you want. Go ahead, don't. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Can you? All right, here we go. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. I dropped the screw in the tuna. that's basically what I heard right there. Oh, the humanity! No further questions, Your Honor. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Yeah, because absolutely everything here is useless. Okay. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Oh, Jesus Christ, no wonder the police department's full of morons. Yikes. Now, there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. Wait, hold on. That thing was created by Gant, not Gumshoe? No, this is a real thing, Boom. That is their quote-unquote mascot. Held together by duct taping spit. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know what the fuck we're looking at. You know what's scary is the fact that this visual novel has actual animated scenes like this. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. I love culture. This takes place in America. I'm not joking. At least I think it does. I thought it was in Japan. Maybe there's a fucking USA town in Japan somewhere. I don't fucking know. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. Go FaceTime your wife, Boone. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. Go talk to your wife, right? Go call your wife, Raiden. Imagine? No. God, no. Boone. Do you really want to take today's America and have a America town in another fucking country? Do you have any idea how many fucking mass murders there would be the very second that happened? Boone, I just want to see the world burn. I just want to see Darwinism just sweep across the planet and weed out these fucking worthless lives. Not dumb people, okay? Not dumb like people with Down syndrome. I mean, I'm talking like people that just cause an absurdly unnecessary and negative and quite frankly, aggressive negativity in the world. We live in a society. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. See, Boone? Yeah, you're right. Except for the furry community. Let the online furry community just stay alive. I don't have anything against them. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you would need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here! Don't tell me it's all the 7s. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh. But the number 4989596 is shown being used twice. Oh. Oh, I didn't notice that because the thingamabing is in the way. Meekins? Wait, hold on. You went in there twice? What the fuck? Please explain, witness. Someone took his card, but it's around his neck. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the blue badge to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when... Yes, sir, that's when I spotted the man on the security screen. I see. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arm like an octopus strangling to detain him. My arm like an octopus. More like a fucking string in the wind. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. I dropped the screw in the tuna. What exactly do you mean when you say did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. Listen, no Chuck Norris jokes. The man just died, okay? Oh, who am I kidding? The Grim Reaper didn't get him. Chuck Norris let the Grim Reaper get him. He allowed God to meet him. A man let his guard down for just an instant. Shout the goat, that's true. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. This guy is 3 sandwiches short of a picnic. I see. He must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out, till another officer smacked me awake. Hold on, wait. You bled all over him. So, that's your blood on the coat? Is itchy to stretch his ass? Yeah, pretty much. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke him up, the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Yes, that's where it is. right outside the police station. All it's missing is the, he's bullshitting. He might be. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. I beg your finest fucking pardon? I beg your finest spit-shine, marble-faced pardon? The Chief of Detectives, Gant? The Chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Well, Your Honor, let me try and refresh your memory. You see, this is a VHS tape. You put in this thing called a VHS player, and oh, you actually know what the fuck it is? Okay, boomer. Oh, who am I kidding? So am I. Yes, sir! That's definitely right, sir! A videotape, sir! It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like the communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Alright. No! Fuck off! God damn it! This is some FNAF shit, by the way. Get the fuck away from me. Okay. We don't have his face! Nice stick, by the way. What do you do? What do you do? Shove that thin thing up his ass? How the fuck? I'm more amazed that we can hear the audio from the fucking mascot. Wait, so where's the body? The big girth stick. Edgeworth, I feel the exact same way, buddy. I feel like the exact same way. Also, that's the same face I make when I'm at war with the toilet. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The fact that it was Edward the first one to break, that's fucking great. I love this game. Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. It was getting freaky. Apparently, it put its dick in two men. I ain't gonna... Phallic ass wood, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, though. More power to you. Hey, what happens in the bedroom stays in the bedroom. As long as there's no animals, children, and non-consent involved, I have nothing to worry about. If it's any of those three games, You going to prison. There ain't no bedroom. Boone, any place is a bedroom if you believe hard enough. Why do you think the Mile High Club is a thing? Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes. Well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of activity took place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Who was the man? His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. Okay, but did you see his face? What's up, Lupin? Lupin, you just missed it. We're losing our fucking minds because we just witnessed a videotape that showed fuck all. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Okay, but did you see his face? So it must have been him. No one else could have unlocked it. But did you see his face? What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. The Blue Badger sex tape. Okay, Boom, don't give Lupin ideas, please. Don't give Lupin ideas. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Oh, I'm never gonna live this one down. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. I see why people like this game. It gets better, Boone. This is the fifth, I think the fifth case? No. It was the fifth or sixth case? One. This is the fifth case in the game. Spectre is gooning to Blue Badger. Fuck this, I'm jerking off. Moving on. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Yeah, no shit. So, you never once looked at his fucking face. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I'm done. Get out, everybody. Fuck this. Boy. That Boone, I'm right there with you. And I say some heinous shit on stream anyways. There's a whole new level. I get he's slow. I understand, like I said before, he's 3 sandwiches short of a picnic, but boy. Okay, who do you think's gonna get a stroke first after when I press A? My money is on Edgeworth. I mean, If it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir, my unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with security video? There is a problem, I'm willing to bet. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one particular thing in particular that's rather strange. I bet you $100 I can figure it out. Strange. This contradiction that leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose that we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let's further inspect this piece of evidence. Just out of curiosity, where the fuck was this camera, by the way? Like, there's 8 cameras in there. That's way more than enough you need for a fucking L-shaped room. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. This is the filming camera on the tripod. You know what, Boom? Maybe you were right. Maybe we are looking at the Blue Badger sex tape. Maybe you were right. It's on a tripod. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? The world may never know. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not... Okay. Is he wearing gloves? I'm gonna fucking hear this in my nightmares, I swear to God. This fucking thing's gonna be my new sleep paralysis demon. And it's gonna be a massive downgrade to the succubus I usually get. That's a lie. I don't get sleep paralysis demons. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins? Sir, do you mean me, sir? No, the fucking rat that just scurried across the ground. Yes, you! As you understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. I usually get a harem in my sleep. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. I'm gonna blow this fucker's head off, I swear to God. Please stop staring into my soul. If I had one. Seriously, where is this camera? How do you guys not have the fucking... Where is this thing? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind and do a little earlier. Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Did he just choke himself? Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker was unlocked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well. This just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system's sensor? Something jammed the sensor, you say? Beg your pardon? Jammed the sensor? Jammed the sensor. You mean gave the sensor a false reading? There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. Oh yeah, this bitch reads wines apparently. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker was unlocked. Mr. Wright, please point out the... Okay. Anyone else want to get fucking, like, shit-faced right now? Just forget this. I love you. No. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Lupin, no. Getting food and going home. Thank fucking God it's silent right now. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distance when I open my... Shut the fuck up. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. Well, what do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. You drive? You drive? This world sucks. This world sucks. Anyway, moving on. This dude, I told you this dude was bullshitting. He wasn't bullshitting, Spoon. He's just slow. Instead of the door closing, my tie choked me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block the electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. We don't... Dragon Ball Z Earth, that'd be something. But hey, at least Gohan is peak again. Gohan's peak again. And is technically the strongest character in the anime, at least. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the door? It was the Blue Badger. No, I'm joking. It was not the Blue Badger. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. You don't care about Gohans? You don't care about beast form Gohan? But he got beast form. But we can't be sure that this was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. Wait, you haven't? Go watch the most recent Dragon Ball movie then. Go watch Dragon Ball Super Superheroes. You will not be disappointed. It's 100% worth it. Watch the dub. You have to watch the dub. Don't. Oh, you have seen it. Then you're telling me he can't throw hands. It's absolutely flames. It has a tag that says SO9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. He worked for that special beam cannon, though. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would have been... Okay, he had a stroke. Order! 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 So, are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. That's true, Boone. He could have. What? To be fair, Boone. To be fair. Don't forget, the Dragon Ball community basically bitched to Toriyama. We don't want Goku to be dead. Bring him back to life. We don't care about Gohan. And Toriyama was like, fine, fuck it. I'll bring Goku back. Happy. And I'll bring him to life. And I'll make him the main character again. And that's what happened. Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Fair enough. Sir, me, sir? I mean, we knew for... Here's the no. Here's the problem also with that movie also. Gohan, as soon as Piccolo puts his armor back onto Gohan, Gohan is struggling just to stay upright. It's like, huh, you didn't have a problem with it when you were 12. And I'm like, bruh. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. And rightfully so. Dude, Vegeta literally should have beaten the fucking shit out of Gohan over those years. He absolutely should have kicked his shit. How the fuck are you weaker than you were as a kid? Facts. I'll be honest with you, I would not be surprised at that point if fucking Trunks could kick the shit out of Gohan. Not Future Trunks, because Future Trunks absolutely could have fucking beaten the shit out of Gohan. I'm talking about our timeline Trunks. It's a joke. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. Even Goku, while he was dead, trained. And he got to fucking Super Saiyan 3! There's one other thing that proves the man was Dick Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of this crime, the detective had to use his card. Sup, joke? An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. That just proves that someone used the card. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Hell, even Piccolo has been fucking training the whole time. And it's about fucking time he got a new form, too. Yes, just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? You know what? That is a fucking excellent question. His gains was minimal, unfortunately. That is true. To be honest, Piccolo should have just pulled with the Namekians of Universe, whatever the fuck it was, and just absorbed a few more Namekians. Wow. Look at all the Piccolos. I did that voice a little too well. This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Dude, I'm currently watching Dragon Ball Z with my girlfriend. Don't compare him to Frieza. I still can't believe that in Kai, they actually allowed Frieza to go, "You monkey!" I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? Hello, monkeys. I'm like, brah. Bridge really has fucking done things to Dragon Ball. I'll say that much. Like, Bridge has done some shit. Just hearing that makes my hand stand on end. Me too. Although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let's move on to the cross-examination. Dude, Frieza is just Space Napoleon Hitler. He's like... Wait, you're saying he's... Wait, your favorite? What about Uncle Ruckus? My name's Uncle Ruckus. No relationship. I'm going to say stop there because everything else that comes out of his mouth is so heinous that it will definitely get me in trouble. He's 1A. That's true. He is absolutely 1A. He is absolutely 1A. I'm so glad James Gunn made that Superman movie. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's one of the greatest. That is probably the best Superman movie of all time. I love the original with Christopher Reeves. And I do think Man of Steel is definitely worth a watch, but goddamn, he nailed it. Oh, go ahead. Go get your food. Okay. Yeah, here's the problem, though. Wait! Oh! Oh! That makes sense! That makes a whole lot of fucking sense! He couldn't put his fucking ID number on here because he fucking forgot it! Objection! I remember! Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. Learn. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. The other one, Your Honor. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half completed, but it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Did I say ID card? I'm gonna fucking hang myself. Oh my god. I bit my tongue earlier today, so it's slightly swollen. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. What do you mean I'm not done yet? Boone, do you have any idea how long this fucking game is? This is the first game. I have 2 more games to play. I have so many fucking achievements. Oh, and by the way, yes, I do have 403,000 gamer score. If you're wondering why the gamer score is fucked up with the 29 at the end, I'm working on Crossworlds, okay? It's a slow work in progress. It takes forever. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Crossroads is great. It's a fucking great racing game. Mario Kart Worlds could suck my dick. Fuck you, Nintendo. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment of the defendant use the murder weapon. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this? I mean, we still have the fingerprints, so... Objection! One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Bum 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 bum. I mean, shit. No, I'm not gonna do that. Rank this last competition. That's nice. I really should be playing more multiplayer. I've only played like maybe 3 hours worth of it. It's good. Oh, I know. I saw the new update. It's so good. It makes everything so nice. Everyone's on even ground again. It's so nice. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. This just might be my chance. Also, Sega just released the soundtrack for the Mega Man map, and goddamn, that Wily theme is so good. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Jake Marshall. I almost said Jack. I'm losing my mind. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel like we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. I don't think she's happy. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall? It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Oh, but not interrupting anything, pals. Impeccable timing as always, Gumshoe. Why are you here? Oh, yes, I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Make a detective run all around while on duty. And on top of it off, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. Oh. You mean this, right? Is that what I think it is? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? Yep, figured. I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Now you want me to help you? Did you just take a plea bargain? What the fucking shit? Here. You might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Joe Dark. Huh. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that? That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No. No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remember, I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth? What the fucking shit? Who's not? Is the judge in there too? Am I in there? Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't just be a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Joe Dirt. He's Joe Dark, actually. To be continued. We'll do one. I guess we do the rest of the trial today. Fuck it. We'll do the rest of this trial. I doubt we're gonna get answers, though. I get the feeling it's gonna be way longer. All right. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of the guarding of the evidence room on the day of the crime. You're fucking drinking on the stand? You know what? Fuck it. Hold on. Where's my booze? Found it. Crown Royal. Peach flavored. Oh, fuck. I'm just gonna drink straight from the bottle. Fuck it. Nobody told me we was drinking. Boone, you're driving. Oh, that's a good peach aftertaste. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony on the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, it was a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. Wait, what did he say? Hold on. I'm sorry, hold on. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? Wait, yeah, you beat me to it. I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? Uh-oh. He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines. Or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Well, okay. How would he not know if he was in there? Okay. Yeah, are you sure about that? What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Was I eating spaghetti? He was eating with Roops, Boone. He was eating with Roops. And his first husband. That's an inside joke only me and Boone will ever fucking understand. No one else will in this fucking chat will ever know. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Bongoe Sapore pasta. I don't speak Italian. I don't speak this Italian shit, okay? I'm French. You mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. Hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" Yeah, that's cool, Chief. Here's the problem, though. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Objection! Officer Marshall, does it strike you as odd that is you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet, you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Huh. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, the luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? This guy, dude, I swear to God, this guy's fucking facial hair grows faster than mine. He puts fucking, oh my God, I can't remember his fucking name. Fucking... Oh my God, my brain's not working. Henry Cavill. That one scene where Henry Cavill reloads his arms and his fucking instantly grew a beard. He puts him to shame. It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well. You may begin your testimony about the fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. How the fuck would you know that? The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's no room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I also feel it. I also feel the alcohol in my system, and it feels good. Like I said, it's only natural my fingerprints will be in that evidence room. That's because you... How did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without even ever knowing it. All right. How do you know? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on my reports. There was a blood stain on the finger at the scene, though it thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion, which honestly makes sense. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by... Sure. You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. But blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera is panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Well, does it show the cloth? I'm gonna go for it. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. I want to see if it shows his actually does show his thing. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness. Wait, where the fuck's the cloth? Also, I can't believe we're fucking listening to this again. What the fuck? He was there. Bringing your attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. These days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. What a bitch. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order! Order! Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just plain dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, But you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh, yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker? Now prove it. Okay. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the big print locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Is that tobacco? Is that tobacco? I've only got one word for you, partner. No! Order! 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 Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olé! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. Wait, we can? We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Well, the only place it could be is the victim? He's not the killer. Officer Marshall was standing right here. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he knew for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled out a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have had needed to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it now. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have a hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. Well, there has to be blood that came from somewhere. We had blood. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ugh, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. And after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so it's evident this video is my only shot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. I fucking hate this thing. Alright, night, Boone. No worries. Blood. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Mika's barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Mika's panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are now today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. All right. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the cameras. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. All right. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to be completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence. Excuse me. Which wouldn't get me anyway. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. What do you mean normal circumstances? But he could just because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. But why? I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins to try to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Yeah, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's all kind of BS. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it turned out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew it wouldn't be caught on camera. So, you did your research beforehand. Those who get into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day, there was an anti-murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already emptied? Someone else stole the evidence. But there's only... Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? But the case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at the trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. I know exactly why. Victims were Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss. Oh. Oh, his brother. And the witnesses were Lana and Emma. Objection! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. A list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. The case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder of the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye.
Objection!
But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. No, there's still the mystery of who the fuck took the evidence. It was empty. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ugh. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time just proving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant Emma? Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Based. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured it out, but I examined it scientifically, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked again. Did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. and I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh, boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Wait, it was a person with gloves. But we already proved that Marshall wasn't wearing gloves. Wait, was he? Something's not adding up. How did the blood get there? I'm confused. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, I can't be more of use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Whose blood is it? I want to... There's gotta be someone else's blood. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Wait! We didn't see it in the video because of the fucking Blue Badger! Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that when drawn would completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing from the floor plans? The Blue Badger. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? So that means... just what exactly does it mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it in there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that means that this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilt not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, this does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you reported really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves this occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being caught by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that could show me that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? Oh! This is when. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have entered it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth! Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminal test the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card remaining. 77777777. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777777. That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 77777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted, an official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's offices operate. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question. Yes? No, not you. To her, the defendant standing over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. It's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about the incident. The SO9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. But, Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Did you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to. In order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. Okay? We'd have to wait until the following day. Well, we're fucked. Well, I hate to leave us all on such a cliffhanger like that. But I think that's gonna be good, Ed, for today.